Language change. In this module, we will discuss what is language change, taking the example of pigeon, and we will also discuss what might trigger language change, especially at society level. Now, coming to think of language change, let us take the example of pigeons. Now, what are pigeons? Pigeons are languages which emerge when there is a communicative need between two communities who do not share a language which they understand. So, if there are two communities with two different languages and somehow they are positioned in a way in a social context that they need to communicate with each other, what emerges is a pigeon. Now, pigeon is a language which has elements of both languages, but it is restricted to some basic communication. Pigeonization is best seen as a process and not as a product because it is constantly evolving as new vocabulary is added from either of the languages depending on the new functions that need to be performed between the two communities. Now, pigeons, when they emerge, are vernaculars. Vernaculars would mean they are from the local languages. The vocabulary or the structure is taken either from language A or the language B of the communities that are already there. So it doesn't come from abroad or it's not a foreign language, but these are vernaculars which now become intelligible. So by intelligible, I would mean that now they are understandable by both the communities that have given rise to pigeon. So basically, it is the function or the need that gives rise to pigeon. That would mean pigeons would have more vocabulary or more different types of structures depending on the need of the communities or around the domains within which these two communities are trying to communicate with each other or make a contact. In any case, pigeons are there for minimal communicative needs. They are not there for discussion of abstract concepts. It's beyond pigeons. It's only there for some basic communicative daily needs that need to be taken care of. Having said that, pigeon can transform into carol. So what is a carol? Carol is a pigeon which gradually takes up more vocabulary, but essentially it becomes the first language of the next generation. So these are the two communities in the first stage who do not share a language. They need to communicate with each other, and somehow they develop some rough vocabulary and structures deriving from each other's languages, and then the next generation hearing and being exposed to that language, that new form of pigeon, then it somehow becomes the first language of the next generation. So carol would be a step towards turning a pigeon into a language. So mother tongue of the next generation, an added vocabulary, this is what it enables a pigeon to become a carol, but then that would mean that a carol would be given much more new functions than a pigeon would. So while pigeon is restricted in the functions, that is what the language can explain or do for people, carol would be able to do a lot more because that would be now the first language of the children growing up within families.